Reverend Charles Kinsey Steele was born on February 17, 1914 in Gary, West Virginia. His parents were Lyde Baylor and Henry L. Steele. As a young promising leader, Reverend Steele began preaching at the age of 15, and by the age of 21, he became an ordained minister. He put forth the effort to earn a bachelor's degree from Morehouse College 3 years after he became an ordained minister. He began serving as a minister at Friendship Baptist Church in Northeast Georgia. After a year, his services were requested at Hall Street Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama in 1939. In 1941, Reverend Steele had the privilege of meeting the love of his life, Lois Brock, who he would later make his wife. After 9 years of service in Montgomery, he was called to serve at Springfield Baptist Church in Augusta, Georgia. 4 years later, he moved again to Tallahassee, Florida, to serve at Bethel Baptist Church in 1952. Reverend Steele became the head of the Tallahassee chapter of the NAACP. He also was elected president of the Inter Civic Council in 1956. Under Reverend Steele's leadership, the Inter Civic Council was created to help direct a bus boycott, which was started by the students at Florida A&M University. The Inter Civic Council gathered leaders from the community to organize a carpool as they demanded full integration of the bus system. As the bus boycott began, the members of the carpool were harassed by the police department, and 22 members were charged by city officials for operating a transportation system without a franchise. The Inter Civic Council levied an $11,000 fine by city officials in an attempt to disband the boycott. The members of the boycott would not allow their efforts to be stopped. They began walking where they needed to go. In 1956, Reverend Steele joined Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as one of the speakers at nonviolence workshops hosted by the Tuskegee Institute. Steele spoke at the annual meeting of the National Baptist Convention and the Montgomery Improvement Association's Institute on Nonviolence and Social Change. In 1957, Steele attended the founding meeting of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. During the meeting, Steele would be elected vice president of the SCLC. In 1962, Steele led the SCLC in a demonstration in Albany, Georgia as vice president while Dr. King was incarcerated. Steele became an active contributor to the Poor People's Campaign. He also led a vigil for poverty in Tallahassee, Florida to recognize and help persons who lack basic needs. After the death of Dr. King, Steele remained an active force in the fight for equality and justice in Tallahassee, Florida. On August 19, 1980, Reverend Steele gave way to his battle with cancer, but his legacy never died. When a bus terminal was created in Tallahassee, Florida, it was named after Reverend Steele, and a statue of him was erected. At that time, a statue of a black man was the only statue of a person's likeness in the capital city of the state of Florida. In 1980, Florida State University bestowed upon Reverend Steele an honorary doctorate of humane letters degree. Reverend Steele was the first black to have an honorary degree bestowed upon him by Florida State University and was the first black to have that particular degree honored to him. Before his death, he established a charter school in Tallahassee, Florida, the Steele Collins Charter School, which was also named after former Governor Leroy Collins. Reverend Steele was a pastor for 28 years at Bethel Baptist Church. In his time, he fought hard for social change in Tallahassee, Florida, as well as within the South. Reverend Steele faced death and many incarcerations to help blacks receive humane treatment from their white counterparts. Reverend Steele made Tallahassee, Florida, and every other city he lived in a better place for blacks to live because of his actions and relentlessness. Reverend Charles Kinsey Steele, we proudly stand on your shoulders. For more information, make sure you visit my website at www.ontheshoulders1.com. While you're there, you can support my OTSOG book series. You can also support me on Patreon at patreon.com/OTSOG. And you can hit the super like button under the video as well. I love you all, and make sure you catch the next video.